everybody. I'm going to be visiting a paranormal place today, and I'm leaving the door open because I want to share some energy healing for all of us who are participating in this experience. I feel humbled by this location. I'm going to be journeying into the Nazca Lines. So basically, I'll be projecting my consciousness into that energy, that energy which exists across time and space, okay? Located in Peru on Earth, but it seems like an interdimensional meaning to me. And a lot of people would say it's more than just human beings creating these extraordinary designs in the ground that you can see from aerial view, like a massive spider. You know, there's massive like animals or insects, human beings, shapes. It's unbelievable. So why would human beings do that? There's also theories that there's been alien involvement. I mean, it's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I was reading Wikipedia about it, and if you combine all the lines together, it creates 800 miles worth of lines. That's a lot. Okay. I'm telling you, there's something really vast and valuable here, because even as I'm trying to introduce this topic, I feel like a breathtaking energy. I feel a transformative energy about it. I feel interdimensional. I feel beautiful. And there's like an unusual resistance, almost like I'm not prepared, energetically prepared for this on some level of being like holy enough, pure enough. That's all my mind talking there, you know? So I have to work through the resistance because, of course, we are all worthy of this beautiful gift to humanity, which is still accessible today, you know? I also wanted to go visit Stonehenge, but if this is a big deal, like if there's a lot to this message, then it's just going to be the Nazca Lines for us today, okay? And then healing. And then whatever wisdom that wants to come through for the human race, for our collective conscious, for human ascension, for anything that is helping us in our life, in our soul journey. It's hard to know where to begin. There's so many images that are coming to me. There's an experience of smoking, okay? And there's a lot of smoke in the air. I can taste smoke. I mean, and we're talking about what feels like I'm smoking a cigar, and I'm actually inhaling it and exhaling it, and there's just a lot of smoke. And I see a man who has no teeth, and he's smiling at me really big. No teeth, and he has this he's got this rolled substance, okay? And it's really big, like a huge cigar, okay? And it's very smoky. It's very, very smoky. This is where it gets complicated. And I'm still trying to understand what it's saying. This isn't necessarily... What if one of these images, of the many images of the Nazca Lines, is like I'm thinking about computer programming, and I'm telling the computer how to provide me with a result that I need the computer to do for me so I don't have to do it for myself. So the computer is making it easier. And so I'm inputting information upon the planet into the planet as though the planet is a massive computer. And I'm giving this massive computer, planet Earth, the dimensions and information that it needs to give me a certain type of output. And as this, I feel like I'm a human, but I feel quite different. I don't know how to explain that just yet. When I stand here as a human, I stand very tall and very direct. And I know exactly what I'm doing. I feel very intelligent. I feel like a computer programmer and a scientist all at the same time. I know exactly what I'm doing. I also have these pinches of silver on my body and my attire, but everything is very earth made. And these silver pinches are almost make me think of aluminum foil, but it's perfect little like bits of silver on this outfit, which is kind of like a rug with my head can come through this hood. So it has this hood, and then it's a rug. It's like a really long rug on the front and the back side. And then I'm standing here naked. Basically, I'm a man. And then there's pinches of silver on this. There's also pinches of silver on my elbows, on my shoulders, pinches of silver in my hair. And my hair is braided and thick. I mean, we're talking really thick braids of hair and really thick hair. Almost like dreads, where you have pinches of hair that become like these bulges, right? But imagine if you had a thick, lots of multitudes of thick bulges of braids, because the hair is just really thick. So you can see why I feel human, but I feel different than human, okay? And I feel this was a very long time ago, and there was an advanced presentation of the human race. And this is not confusing at all. This is not, it doesn't even feel religious to me. It doesn't feel like I'm creating these lines in order to give thanks to the sun god or something like that. I'm creating these lines because I'm an intelligent computer programmer scientist, and I'm telling the earth something. And it needs to be these specific alignments, this specific information. It's very, 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 very specific. It's incredibly specific. And I'm putting these imprints into the earth to give a message to the computer that is our planet. I don't have a relationship with having, when I send ideas to this man, okay, who's standing here, did you come from another planet? Are you from the stars? Are you from the planet Earth? There's no real echo that bounces back to answer any of those questions. He's really busy focusing on his intention and accomplishing this. Now, although these questions are a waste of time in a way, like he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows to the point that he would ignore you if it was not aligned with his business. And it doesn't feel rude at all. It feels very natural. And this man who stands tall with this odd garment on is not the same one that is smoking this big fat cigar, who has no teeth and is smiling. I'm trying to figure out what's the correlation here. Again, there was lots of pictures, almost like I'm moving through so many layers of time and representations of human beings and ideas and self-expressions as I'm working my way to this moment in time where this specific Nazca line was created. And I feel like it's the spider, okay? This is interesting. He's talking to me about the meaning of a spider isn't the way that it looks. It has everything to do with the length of its legs, the width of its torso, like its body. You know, it's like it has everything to do with very specific geometric awareness, very specific measurements of length and size, very specific. And if you could take the spider, which is a physical representation of information. So if we could see the lines of information as though it was programmable code, okay? So there's codes that create then the physical dynamic of what we just see as your everyday spider or a tarantula or whatever. It's a spider. But each specific thing on this planet, a flower, a spider, a bird, a human being, has a specific code of information. Like you could program information into a computer, the computer then creates the output. He's talking about this, okay? It's almost like there's these imprints into the earth, but I'm still trying to understand. Well, what are you trying to get out of this? Are you telling the earth to this is the specific geometric coding or structure of the physical manifestation of a spider, and Mother Earth or big earthly program, we need you to create spiders now. Like I'm trying to understand, how does this imprint into the planet reach the Earth program? And then what is the output exactly? I'm trying to understand this. It's more than that. It's more than that. He's more like saying, there's a spider in every single one of us. This spider is more than just a physical spider. It's more than even the what you think is the program that creates the physical spider is all that the spider ever is or what it represents. It's like the spirit energy of the spider, imprinting the spirit energy of the spider, which isn't like what we think a spirit is. He really sees that all life is information. All life is information, overlays of information, and that everything can be broken down into very specific understandings of code. Okay? Like very specific understandings of code. And this is not robotic. This is not Android or this is very he keeps sending signals back. This has nothing to do with spirituality or religion. This is just the facts of or laws of creation. Let me just pause for a minute. I feel really unintelligent right now. Like I feel like I keep trying to, okay, well, help me understand, and he's just still creating these lines because this is very important right now. Go along, you nitwit. It's kind of like, yes, you are a very small-minded human being. He's kind of got that emanation to him. And but there's no offense taken at all. I'm just like, so help me understand this. I'm really trying to get some clarity here. He wants me to make myself bigger and place my body upon the spider, okay? And just lay down on the ground as though my body is the size of this image. It doesn't matter where I put my legs or my hands, just lie down on this image in my mind. So we can all do this. We can all lie down on this image and see if I can actually find. I know I was looking at some of these and I was just so impressed, you know. Here, I'm going to show you guys an image. Okay, here's a big old spider. You know what's interesting about this spider? Oh, the small-minded me. It definitely has 8 legs. Is this an ant or is this a spider? Here we go. That's what I was thinking. It's like, that looks like an ant. Oh, that's got 8 legs. I feel so small-minded right now. I almost feel like I need to go back to school. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to lay down in my mind upon this image, this enormous image. I'm looking at some of these other ones too. I mean, there's just so many images. Here's this bird. You guys can look these up too. I don't know how well that's going to come through. That doesn't come through very well. All right, let's give this a try, shall we? He's smiling. He actually has the time for this. He's just watching me right now, and I'm just lying down on top of this image of the Nazca Lines, and I'm just looking up at sky. It's a sunny day, and I'm closing my eyes now, and I'm wondering what I'm doing or what I'm supposed to do next. It says just be one with the spider. And he's nodding. Like, yes, just be one with the spider now. Okay. Oh man. Wasn't expecting this. These don't look like your everyday spiders either. They're reddish orange color. And they're kind of see-through in a way. And they do remind me of fire ants. And there's a mother of these types of insects. A mother spirit of them. And there's all these babies crawling everywhere. And I see that these spiders are cleaning my energy field. They're cleaning off my energy field. They're cleaning my physical body. They're cleaning my emotional body, my mental body. They're cleaning me. It's almost like they have little mouths that are just cleaning every little thing that is just could be consumed. It's almost like they're hungry to eat what is not serving our purpose. Consume it. And he even tells you, everybody, all of us, don't be shy. If there's something that you're working on that you might be ashamed of talking about, these creatures, these little critters, are happy to help you digest that imbalance. Okay, the most peculiar thing is happening. So I've experienced these little baby spider fire ants cleaning my energy field, my soul even. I'm cleaning my physical body. They all look really like they ate a lot of food, okay? And they're kind of fat little balls right now, bit disoriented. But they're all going into a dream state. I see each and every one of these is going into a dream state of its own kind. and through its dream is manifesting something in the whole universe. And the mother spider nods that this is good and is welcoming us to share more. Because when we feed the spider, they now can manifest more. They can weave more into our physical reality. That the spider carries the code, the understanding of how to weave anything into physical manifestation. The spider knows how. The spider knows the code to weave anything. I mean, we're talking stars, planets, and we're talking physical forms. Any bird, anything, any animal, any insect, any fish, humanoids, like alien beings. Like, we're talking on and on and on and on and on. They can make anything. They could even help you manifest wealth. I mean, they could materialize money. They could do anything. But they need... It's almost like we're all benefiting when we do this. So when we're lying down on this image of the spider, we're allowing the spiders then to consume our suffering, okay? It's like the tree that consumes the carbon dioxide and transforms it into oxygen. So we're feeding our planet with what doesn't serve our purpose, and the planet is releasing what does serve our purpose, okay? And so this spider is getting us connected to an interdimensional space where we are feeding it what does not serve our purpose, and it's consuming, digesting, and releasing what does serve our purpose, okay? And he says that's why the spider is so important. And it's this specific spider that he's really referencing. But it's kind of like he's telling me the genetic code or the universal code or the programmer's code of the universe. It could be any and all spiders. But when I lay down on this spider, which looks similar to the actual image, it kind of looks like an ant and a spider combined. It is this type of spider that they're really referencing here. And there's some kind of knowing about when we create what is this massive image on the planet, it's inputting the information, it's inputting the code into the earth as a giant computer. But it's also interdimensionally connected to a very specific consciousness as well, which is also connected to the codes of manifesting anything in a physical reality. Also because it's this type of spider. I mean, there's so much here. I can't even catalog it into a conversation because I would be like a computer myself, just going lines and 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 lines of codes that my brain can't even compute it, okay? It's hard for me to even talk about it. I feel like a nincompoop, okay? I feel like a very simple-minded human. I'm just going to let the spider image do the work and let myself just be whoever I need to be in this life. I'm going to go back to this man who had the smoke and I'm like, what is it? Why did I have that? Why that image? What does he represent? The man who's making these Nazca lines is looking in the direction that I'm pointing at. I thought that I had left the Nazca lines and was going into that image, but I guess I'm still standing here and I was pointing at this image to him. I start to see his image changing. The way he looks is looking different now. Has a very Egyptian appearance to it. All the braids in the hair have disappeared. The strange garment has disappeared. He's wearing kind of like a white cloth wraparound and a lot of golden jewelry. And I'm now in Egypt, apparently. I'm not even near the Nazca lines anymore. I'm now in Egypt. Everything's very peaceful and timeless and wise. And it feels like builders from the stars that came here to imprint information into our planet that would help guide our human race throughout time and history, and even in the future, so to speak, that we would have access to information. We use books, right, in order to write things down and then present it to the human race. Now it's transformed into the computer, right? So we have the internet. So we have ways of accessing information, but the history still is imprinted upon our planet. It's still here for us to access it, to tap into it. Even if we can't explain it or understand it with our brains, we can lay upon it, or we can touch it, and we can welcome it into our hearts and our beings in order to, what is in a way downloaded into our very DNA, and over generations of time evolve into that awareness physically. It's almost like it's so easy. They gave us everything that we needed, and it's not, there's some builders from the stars, and they're different races of beings, and some of these look very human to me. And it's almost like they came here to imprint information, to create a library that would be accessible to us without needing a book, without needing not so easy to destroy. Okay, we may wonder about it, we may never understand it, but it will still reach us genetically in our DNA. It will transform us and evolve us over time, if we choose to open up that book by just interacting with it, saying, show me, teach me, I don't understand. What does this stuff mean? Why is this stuff here? But I welcome you to show me and reveal it to me. And even if there's no answer or there's still no understanding, we have to believe in the power of time and the evolution of our race and our species. And we have to welcome the information to be imprinted into our DNA so that we can pass it along to our children. And we need to open it up to our children to also explore a connection with this earthly library in these objects, like Stonehenge and pyramids and Nazca Lines, you know? They really call them builders. I mean, I feel they show me lots of stars, and then they show me a man standing here and he looks like a builder, okay? And they call them builders. But they were really kind of like planting the seeds for the human race to be able to tap into the divine wisdom and truth. To the program of what is creation itself. Because it'd have to override our ego. It'd have to slip beneath the surface of our mind and our ability to understand it. And we would have to choose to simply receive it and know that that would be enough. And that is what would help us to evolve. I swear to God, this silly man with no teeth and this giant smoking thing, I feel like he's like a guide, a spirit guide, and he's really got a funny sense of humor. Almost like you would interpret him to be a bum. Like he would want you to interpret him to be less than, okay? And to be maybe even crazy, okay? Like a crazy hobo. But really, he's extraordinarily wise. So if you could get outside of your judgmental self, you would see the truth and value of what he actually is representing here. So it's like you can see somebody for who they truly are. You could see somebody for who they are not. But you can just simply see somebody, and what does that somebody represent to you exactly? I see the Egyptian is looking at me, and now this man of the Nazca Lines is looking at me, these builders. And I see this face that has no teeth and all this smoke and this like hilariousness becomes a dimensional gateway for the overlay of infinite numbers of souls and faces that were seeded and planted here, programmed into the Earth computer that manifested this evolutionary timeline of experiences that we're all sharing as, in a way, one seed. And the builders nod about this, like they really like the way that I'm putting that. So when I'm looking at this dimensional gateway, I see layer, like millions and millions and millions and millions, bajillions of sheets of paper. And let's say each sheet of paper represents a face and a face and a face and a face and a face of all, like a face for every single person who had ever existed in all time and that will ever exist. But it's all like kind of interconnected to the Earth program, the Earth computer. Almost like looking at a super large FBI like database, and we're looking at another profile, like all the human beings are documented. Okay, we will find you. It's like the Earth knows more than just what is the present moment, or even a few hundred years ago. Like the Earth knows thousands of generations of faces. And DNA and program of body and mind and spirit, like on a level that's inconceivable to us. It's like the ability to create your own DNA strand. Like your ability to create your own race of beings from thin air. Just because you simply know the properties of what creates in the universe. And that would feel like God to us, but it's really just mathematical science, you know, like there's something so, so didn't you know about that? Another side of the story that is surprising me, it has to do with time. And these builders' relationship with Earth, almost like Earth humans from the future coming back in time to plant these seeds to help us evolve. It's very confusing to me, because isn't that changing the timelines? Because how would these have been here for the first humans? How are they able to interpret all the different timelines of possibilities or truths, whether it happened or it didn't happen? Like, isn't it all happening anyway? Like, how could they conceive of all of this? Again, it's like a God mind. But that's why these builders look human to me, and they're fitting into the Earth plane, and they look kind of like us. And they feel like from the future, not from the past. It's so interesting, because the more that I stay in this energy of the Nazca Lines, but also this man, looking at this man who's standing at the Nazca Lines, and then looking at this Egyptian man who's sort of representing the pyramids, and then looking at this funny face who becomes a dimensional portal of all faces and all times, okay? And the more that I feel this out, and even feel the experience of the future, and I experience all the versions of history and future history, and it's so impossible, like, it's so surreal that it could even be fathomable to a mind, to a physical mind. Could actually incarnate into a form that could understand all of this stuff. That could even be like a supercomputer in itself, to just know all of these things. It was intelligent enough. It was intelligent enough to know so many things that we couldn't even fathom. Anything could ever know so much. I'm even seeing different versions of Egypt. Different dimensional versions of Egypt. So many different historical truths that took place in the same place, that just has overlay after overlay after overlay of different versions of experiences that took place. And this is all coming from the Nazca Line energy, but it's just coming from choosing to tap into these libraries on our planet. I feel like I'm evolving. And it doesn't matter if my mind is smart enough to understand it or not, because I'm just receiving the energy download. And I've always said that too. Like when it comes to psychic development, if you're trying to understand what they're saying word for word for word for word for word, just let that go. Because our minds can't always conceive of what the infinite information that's being presented to us. We just have to download it, and then allow awareness to kind of grow and develop within us over time. And that just is what makes a more patient person, a more loving person, a more open-minded person. And that's part of the wisdom you received in the download, that you needed years to really attune to that awareness of what was in that. But it could have been millions of lines of code. It could be Nazca lines imprinted upon our very soul. And the best that we can interpret it is just simply, I feel loved today. Or I feel sad for no explainable reason today. Because we're understanding so many deep things, or the love is reaching these vulnerable places and we're feeling it healing us, and it feels like pain when really it's actually nurture. And if that's the best we can interpret this stuff, that's perfect. That's beautiful. That was already understood. That was already known. Kind of merging with all this information, which is making me, I mean, I feel a wholeness, I feel an abundance, I feel a spherical circulation, I feel something breathable about it, I feel peace of mind, I feel relaxed. I feel like I can just appreciate the images and know that the images are the wisdom that they need to be, even if it goes way over my head. That I could see the image in my mind and see myself as big as that image, just lying down on it. And then I could feel myself just lying down on the image and just absorbing whatever this is about. And being open to that. And then allowing time to pass and circulate and welcome the epiphanies, welcome the awareness. Even if I can't even connect the dots, that it was because I interact with those Nazca Line images. I can feel the loving abundance of the builders of the future, of the library that was placed upon our planet, of the computer of our planet. I can feel the loving energies of our planet. There's so much love here. So I guess if I were to create an interpretation, these Nazca lines were put here by future humans. It's literally what this is like to me. So do they come from the stars, or were they part of the planet? I mean, who put these human beings here in the first place that evolved into these future humans that came back in time to interact with another version of Earth time that seemed to have an extraordinary God level awareness of so much more than we could even fathom would be possible? It just proves how connected, interconnected we are with everything. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for following along with me. I hope you felt that. Like, take some time to reminisce in the vibes and the experience of this. Like, the way that it just simply feels. Feels surreal. All right. Stonehenge will have to wait for another day. Thank you all again so much for watching. Thank you for your wonderful comments. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'm going to be sharing so many more videos from here. And if any of you are interested in exploring a psychic session with me, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I have 2 other YouTube channels, so you can check me out at Abbey Psychic Services and Zodiac Energy Readings. I'm also on Patreon at patreon.com/abbeynormalswisdomquest. All right, have a great day, everybody.